Meeting to order. There is an agenda and almost a quorum. We'll bring Leon up to speed as he comes in. I was hoping to have Mitt tonight, but so far not so. But hey, hope you've all had a chance to look at the minutes. They just came out today. But I don't have any objections to anything. If anybody has a chance to, do you want to read them? Do you want to? Okay, now I'll go back and see if I can pull up the minutes. I can't get to the minutes. Sorry, folks. Technology eludes me. Well, wait. Sorry. Anyway, have you had a chance to read the minutes?
I just scanned them. They look
Okay.
great.
No one has any objections. Take a motion to accept the minutes.
Motion to accept the minutes as written.
Second. Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous, thank you. Moving on to news items, with short list tonight. There's a parcel of land over next to, or I guess abutting the property we have over on Mill Pond, where our boat launch area is that we're planning to renovate a little bit. And the fellow who owns the property is offering it up to us to add on to our land. It's between our property and Bartlett Hardy's, the fellow who lives right next to the boat launch. And I'm working with Bartlett right now to see if we can move this along. This is I don't know how large the parcel is. I don't know what the condition is. I understand there's some debris and stuff on there, but we can clean that up. Lisa Heisen in it. And evidently they stopped paying taxes on it about a year ago. So it's got to go through the town officials, through the select board. I don't know if that gets forgiven or we cough up money or what happens, but keep you in the loop about that.
Sorry, giving it to whom? To the town?
Giving it to the CLC
To the CLC?
to extend that property a little bit.
So the CLC
do we
owns
own
the
that?
property?
Own it, we control it. It's the town's land.
Well, that's her question.
Yeah, wouldn't it have to go to the town?
It goes to the town.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's the town.
Got it,
Not
okay.
ours,
Oh, okay.
but they offered it up to us because we have the sign there, says CLC. But like I said, working with Bartlett, he's trying to get things expedited there, and I don't know what the status is or anything, but I think I'll go see them later in the week and check that out. So
It's a quarter of an
acre,
100 by 100 doors.
that's nice. That's no problem, actually large over there. But we'll have to see if we can get the engineering done later this fall over there as well, so we'll continue on with that. Also offered up a letter of support to Acton a week ago through Matt Silverman. Acton is putting in a request for funding through the state for a program they want to do to somehow coordinate this region's water resources. So between us and Concord and Acton, they want to work out things so that droughts don't impact us. And there's still plenty of drinking water. And I think it's all drinking water supply based for the most part, but the CLC, of course, concerned with surface water. We sent a letter of support. back minutes have been submitted to show up on our website. Very much, many thanks to Dave for that. I think we're up to date with the possible exception of the February minutes. I'll get those next month. Also heard from Michael Grega yesterday at the water department. And he reports that lab results from the September algae testing are in, and he has compiled all of the water quality tests this year, 2 months worth. But he's compiled those into a presentation, and we'll make arrangements to have that presentation at our next meeting. So
You say algae, but you mean all the water quality testing?
well, he's been doing testing of algae
right.
separately. And I don't know the extent. I don't know if it's on every lake or what, but he ran that in September as well. And I misunderstood. I thought we were gonna have another opportunity to do some water quality testing, but there wasn't a budget for that, so. It's just algae testing that they had money for, and I guess they've got maybe 3 or 4 months of that.
So that was on Long Lake.
Not sure. I had the impression it was all lakes, but
How often?
they were done
Once a month.
once a month. And I don't know the ins and outs. We'll see in the results, but he said they just got the results back from the lab on the algae testing.
So maybe next meeting, they can.
Next meeting, definitely, we'll line things up and he'll either do it remotely or he'll come on board, whatever. Be good. That's all little news items I have. So, the minor dredging permit application, I reached out to Leon to see if we could contact our engineers to see what our status is. We're anxious to make sure that that's being submitted, and that we don't lag too far so that we don't get the permit given to us sometime in August or September or October, when it really does us no good until the following spring. So hopefully that can be expedited. We'll see if we can have contact with them before the end of this week. And whatever I hear, I'll report to the whole committee just in the evening. We are very anxious to have that. Proceed.
So we don't know whether they've done sampling yet or
I
not.
don't know. I mean, from their earlier letter, it said they were gonna be submitting the whole thing in a couple of weeks. And whether that came to pass or not, I can't confirm. So, details to follow.
Last time, we were told that they were going to submit the plan for the sampling shortly,
Sure,
which would have been
couple of weeks.
late September.
Right.
Which is
That would have been ideal.
probably, but that's not the sampling, that's submitting the plan for it.
I think I misunderstand that. If that's the case, I don't,
Talk to Neil.
I. If I can dredge up the. Earlier. Communication.
Yeah. We could be in the same position we were this year.
You know my position. Herbicides.
We may need to.
Well, I'm gonna tell you guys, I was,
It's one of our best
Well-
weapons.
well, I was, out there just this weekend. Cleaning up around the beach area
Yeah.
and, there was some fragments floating by. And I have like a little pool net, so my wife was catching them as they go by. And she goes, look at this. Fragments that were only this big had roots on them. My opinion, and it's been since I've been here, is I say we do herbicides where we kill it and forget about it on the ground, where these fragments will cut. Okay, we're gonna get 70% of everything in the boat, right? That rest of that stuff's floating around.
Yeah.
Right? And we're cutting it because it's really high right now in the lake, boats are going by, cutting it, whatever, it's cutting it up, it's all over the place all the time. We're always, doing it.
Making it worse.
Now, how do you
That problem.
how do you plant a plant, you take a clipping and you throw it in water, right? And all of a sudden it has sprouts, roots, and then you put it in the ground again. I just feel that we're gonna spend a lot of money for nothing.
On eco harvesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of that. Because I'd rather hit it with the herbicides for a couple of years and build up our time that we can, work with it with the eco harvesters, but at least give us a year or so with herbicides and see what happens.
You've never
And it's
used
cheap.
herbicides then.
We've never used them.
No, you never have.
And you know what? It was great
There was
there.
always a lot of pushback about using
But it's not
herbicides
anymore.
instead of marijuana.
There's no more herbicides pushed back there.
We know we're gonna be doing herbicide at Spec Pond, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Actually, we got
there's-
permission to do
And that's
that. too.
just upstream, it goes right,
Right, no, they said you can do it.
We
Yeah.
get permission to do that.
Yeah.
so,
As long as the wells are monitored.
yeah.
So Chuck, on the
Yes,
budget for
maybe for-
26, which we're not looking at yet, but AIM is aquatic invasive mitigation, and we're including herbicide or.
Any
And
weapon in our
so we
arsenal.
have a bucket there. We're not committing with the reason we're writing it into the budget more generally is so that we can decide what to do, depending on what we have the permits for and all that kind of stuff.
So
Okay.
we have permits for all of those.
Yeah, so that's. the
We
plan
have
going forward.
funding for, eco harvesting. We got agreement from the CPC, so the funding is from CPC. We got approval from CPC last summer to do herbicides because we couldn't get a,
I know, we couldn't get the dredging permit.
but, and if we had the same problem next year, we could probably get agreement to use some of that funding for herbicides. But, if we,
I just feel that we're, for years, we did it up at Long Lake for years,
Yeah, oh yeah.
and it worked fantastic.
Long Lake and Spec Pond.
Fantastic. They both were fantastic all those years. Then we went,
We haven't done anything on Long Lake for 2 years.
they weren't, I mean,
We have some things that,
Muck Islands. I
we
know,
have, we got the Muck Islands,
And
but
stuff like that.
that's all we got, last year, and,
I don't know why we're thinking going crazy with this, because, all right, we get a thing for dredging. The permit's gonna run out.
no, it won't.
It'll never run out.
Well, it
Well,
won't, it's not that it won't run out, it's 5,000
re-up it.
cubic yards of harvest material. It's instead of 99,
I know.
so, it just puts it on a whole different plane, but that's the way the Commonwealth wants to do it. And of course, it's always been the contention, especially with you guys, on Forge Pond,
I
that
think
you don't
because-
wanna add another layer to the bottom of the lake. And that's all you do with it, the herbicides do not wash things away,
I know,
they just croak.
I know.
It just becomes fertilizer for next season. Which is unfortunate, but that's why we've been trying, the eco harvesting. Thinking we can literally remove the subject, but you make a valid point. People go by on a motorboat, chopping things up, even paddles on a canoe are gonna tear things up and cause things to propagate. So, what do you do? Keep people off the lake?
I'm not
So
saying.
the good news is the budget is written and the way we'll be going for funding will be written in a more general way so that we can do either. We don't have to decide right this minute. It's a bit about permitting, right?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
no, it's
no,
not, we will. We don't have to choose one way or the other. We can use both, actually.
Yeah.
I know Leon would like very much to do that. Start out with herbicide treatments right off the bat,
Yeah.
Spec Pond. Make sure you do as thorough a job with that as possible, this spring, and then, when the next year kicks in and things have matured, that haven't gotten, affected or weren't affected by herbicides, you come in with an eco harvester. Clear it all out, and then, of course, they've got some muck islands and stuff to deal with there too. Again, any weapon in the arsenal is fair game, and I don't think we've made any decisions about the effectiveness or lack of effectiveness of anything. But again, it'll be the first time we've tried herbicides on Forge Pond. Right?
Well, thing is, we never could do anything because Savas was here and said, no, 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 no. So you know, but then
Well,
again,
the only reason
we
you
had-
said that was because you haven't got any public access,
Right, but
on
we
on
do.
Littleton land.
we
We do.
now,
Well, you do now.
No, there was always access to
there's
the
a
lake
beautiful
for
land
anybody.
now. Yeah,
Anybody could access the lake.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep us on agenda. 'cause
Well,
all right, keep you on
we
agenda.
hash
I just-
history every
I'm
time
just saying,
we talk about Savos in the old days.
Yeah, no,
ahead.
that's a long time ago.
Yeah,
So I'd just like to say, it is frustrating that we haven't been able to try the eco harvesting. We've been trying for 3 years to do
Mm.
a real test of it. And for 3 different reasons, we haven't been able to. We want to do one at some point to see, is this gonna work or not? There are problems also with herbicides. There's all kinds of problems with herbicides. Short term, they work fine. Long term, there are problems. And then the last thing is, we have permits for all of that. For any of these. We only have funding for, right now, we only have funding for the eco harvesting.
because that's how the CPC budget was. written,
That's what we
right? Yeah.
requested.
That was the grant that we got. I mean, we went forward
Right.
and Dave made.
And
his case to say, we need to try this.
would have
this one out
used it
to
this
see
last year if we hadn't been stopped by DEP.
The
So-
whole plan kind of got thought.
If we get in the same situation next summer as we were this last summer, where we don't have our dredging permit, then presumably we could get approval from CPC again to do the herbicides. And
But not at Long.
not at Long Lake?
Long Lake is exclusively, the grant or the monies that we got.
Oh, right.
is
Yeah,
exclusively
right,
for,
yeah. Right,
renewable through eco harvesting.
yeah.
So,
Well, it was floating islands.
what's it?
It was request for floating islands.
Well, that was a separate
Okay.
grant
Okay.
altogether. So, but fortunately, not that over there. So, let's dive into to the budget, looking forward 5 years. I reworked things from last month a little bit, trying to close the books on fiscal year 2025. And, wanted to find out kind of where we came out on that. Got some more information from Leon. Should go check on him. All right, but,
Are you looking at the,
I think we can look at the 5 year plan. There's a whole lot more detail in the active budget. And I think what's gonna happen after this is we wanted to get to the point where we could look at, fiscal year 2025. And say, okay, how did things come out? You know, we budgeted for something, for things, we were frustrated in that we didn't have the permits to proceed.
so,
Was it?
Should someone look at them? It has been quite a while,
Yeah,
I know, Chip.
I used to down in Manchester.
like 20 minutes. It's been,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe,
I mean, if you
You should
passed
know
out or
the floor.
something, you should know.
yeah,
Oh, thanks.
yeah.
But, yeah, we, of course, we're frustrated by not having permits in place and, the state demanding these dredging permits, for eco harvesting, which sort of funded the whole year for us. But as a result, if you can look down, the list, and we're on, we do 5 year thing. Few things they picked up, few things they dropped. The lake preservation plan was added, this spring to the tune of $29,700, $3,662 of which was paid out in fiscal year 2025. That was the first billing that they had, and it was just before the end of June. So the balance of that, the 33,362, which is under 2026, you see, is going to be deducted from the monies that we have for AIM there and for this year. And we're hoping to hit things hard in the spring and make up for lost time. So going forward, we talked last month, and this continues on the back page. We're looking to arrest a great deal of invasive growth at Spec Pond, well, at every pond. But we also know that, we don't eradicate things, we just simply suppress them, and they'll be back. So the funding for that is fairly continuous and fairly consistent, right on through. Sort of playing devil's advocate, I guess, at this point, because you say, well, it's bad now, it's bad at Spec Pond, it's bad at Matawanaki.
Mhm.
I don't believe it's always gonna be that bad. I think this is a fairly recent occurrence, but it is aggravated by tearing things up, by motorboats, by paddles, by what have you. And it's something that we need a few successes with, this year and maybe next. Good thing.
He's not there.
Oh, no,
So I think
maybe he left.
he left.
But is that his backpack?
No, it's fine.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you for looking.
I appreciate that.
Mm. You hate to see him out there and we leave, you know?
Well, he was here, right? He
Yeah,
was,
yeah.
Yeah, he was here first.
I said he had an emergency, he had something he had to take care of, so-
did you hear him say that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
but I
Okay.
didn't know what that meant, so.
right,
Oh, I thought he was still in the building, but.
yeah, me too, okay,
Dave, thank you. for-
all right, thank you, I got nervous, so.
So, again, we've discussed this in the past as to whether or not we could ever anticipate actually less money and less money and less money being spent on dealing with invasive aquatic plants. And I think in terms of budgeting and looking forward 5 years, I can't see it tapering off. I can see it plateauing. I'd like to think we could get on top of things. I'd like to think it could be like it was 4 or 5 years ago at Manawanaki, where it really wasn't bad. It was manageable. And so if that were the case, maybe these numbers could be cut in half down the line, but in terms of planning, I don't see there's any point where we can go, well, we nailed it this year and it's not coming back.
Mhm.
At least not for the foreseeable future. So we're looking at some big numbers.
The only thing, just looking at my notes from last week, is we talked about moving the Long Lake Preservation Plan to 27, you have it in 28 now. I think we're looking to, how can we spend park and rec money sooner?
Well, the other is, if you're spending all this on the mitigation, and the over and mitigating until you have a plan.
We do. I don't think we really talked that out with you last month sufficiently. We have a nutrient sump in each one of our lakes because of the age of the lakes and the development around them. And the fact that we dump everything from our roads, into them through storm drains. And we have,
By nutrient sump, you mean a lot of nutrients are coming into the lakes?
yes.
Okay.
So if you're doing,
So
so,
we're altering the ecology of each lake.
yeah, but if you, why spend on the management, if you're not gonna have a plan, do the plan first?
That's the plan.
Why, but you're doing the management you're spending big bucks on the management
Mhm.
before you fund the plan. Why wouldn't you fund the plan to know that you're spending the right money on?
Because we've been working with the water department for 25 years and this is the way those guys who are professionals, look at that.
Then that argues that you don't need the plan.
Not saying we don't need the plan. Everybody's asking for a plan now. Everybody's saying, where's the management? Where's the preservation plan? Where's the?
So that-
It's like,
And that advocates for doing the plan before the management.
you can't stop herbicide treatments and expect positive results. You'll get negative results.
I think what you're
You can-
saying,
you
you
can
can't
cure
replace,
something.
you can't, you're making an argument, move Long Lake to 27, which is
I'm
gonna be a
making an
discussion.
argument to move all the plans earlier, so then you can, then you could justify how you're spending the money easier on the management, because you say, we have this plan, it says we need to do X, Y, and Z, and we're doing X, Y, and Z. Rather than spending the money to do X and then say, we're gonna come up with a plan later and it's going to validate that what we did by spending on X was the right thing. You're better off funding the plan now, earlier, and then saying, yeah, we were,
If money was available, I'd be anxious to do it.
Well, I think I think for Long Lake, we were saying we could use the money that's coming in from Parks
Well,
and
I'm
Rec. for
also
the
thinking,
curbside.
we talked about, towards the end of the meeting, we were talking last month about sort of, maybe getting a group discount or something like that. And I think it's more the case that really, when you come right down to having, a lake, preservation plan developed, it is lake specific.
Mhm.
You'll be working, with that watershed, with people in that watershed and having things directly apply to each specific lake. I don't think we should put 3 or 4 of these, plans on somebody's plate in one season. And
So
we should do them
one of them
at a
is done already, Spectrum
time.
Pond
It was
is
almost done.
almost done, right? So, I mean, by the time we get to fiscal year 27, it will be done. It's,
You've got Lake Mattawamkeag on 27 plan.
Yeah.
Long Lake
So
at
next year we do
28, and Gulf
Forge
on
Pond, and then
29.
the following year we do Long Lake.
so, I hear what you're saying, that it would be difficult for the consulting team to probably do 2 at once. But, they probably could do one in 6 months. So that in the course of a fiscal year, you could do both, one after the other,
Right,
if we had the funding for them,
if we have the funding,
right?
and we're stumbling
And-
on that already.
And, I agree that, we've been talking about doing plans for several years, knowing that it was something that was useful and.
I hope so.
But it wasn't. So, Mark, we have talked to a number of professionals about this, lake management professionals that do it for a living. And we've been through, all the different, options with them, and we've talked to other lake organizations that in the area, a half a dozen, 8 that are facing similar issues, and what works for them, what doesn't work for them. So we have some idea, but I agree that having a focused look at what is it that's contributing to each lake, and therefore, which things make the most sense here, which things are likely to be more effective, is really a good idea. In some cases, like FY 27 for Mattawamkeag, we have funding for eco harvesting already in place. And we're looking at funding a lake preservation plan, if we can get funding for that at the same time. So we could do both, because we know that, like I said, we have some experience with some things that could work, some things, would they work or not? So we could do some of these things in parallel. But I agree that getting the preservation plans sooner rather than later is better.
if you have the master plan that says what you're doing, it's easier to advocate for the funding because you've hired someone that says, this is what we need to be
Right.
doing. And you can say, point to that document and say, this is what they said, this is why we need the money. Rather than, and I'm not trying to discount what you guys know.
Well, no, it's not just what we
No.
know. We've done this through the
No.
water department, and this has been the recommendation, and then with the example of going through herbicide treatments for decades
Yeah.
at Spec Pond and Long Lake. We go to professionals and we say, hey, what would you recommend? I mean, this is, we haven't had it all written down in one document for Long Lake.
Yeah.
But now, with seeking funding from other sources, go to Parks and Rec and they go, who do you think you are? And I go, well, I think I've been doing this for 25 years, but I'll tell you what, I don't know everything.
Yeah.
And if you need a lake management plan, you should get one for the tune of $30,000 to $40,000. It's just, God, well, what else? Everything's $40,000 these days. I
But,
don't know why.
to Mark's point, we do, like I said, we do have experience, we have talked to people, but we end up with, in situations like this, like, we should use herbicides now. Well, we're trying to see how effective, eco harvesting is, and a lake preservation plan could help us prioritize those things and give us guidance on what the pluses and minuses are for each one, and so therefore which one is likely to be more useful for us at this point in time. Yeah.
Alright.
So I think the question on the table is, should we move up the Long Lake preservation plan to FY 27?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was the discussion at the end of last meeting. I thought we had agreed that we were moving it to 27 as a way to show Park and Rec, like, hey, we're taking the money that you're getting from your surcharge and we're doing something with it, and to point to specifically that's what we were doing.
And
It
I'm-
looks like it was in 29 last year, so you moved it up a year.
Okay, I'm
Um,
trying to balance things to a certain
Right.
extent here.
it looks like it would, I mean,
If we look,
you
if
put
we,
35 into
if we look at the
27.
blue line, just for 2025, we had anticipated spending over 300, almost $400,000. We ended up spending 140. That didn't run according to our plan, but, that's our range, that we're somewhere floating around $200,000. If we load up 2027 with three different $30,000 to $40,000 plans, that, I don't.
I think it's just one
Does
more we're
anything
talking
else-
about adding.
Does anything else have to drop out? I mean, it's already at 281.
But
And
then the next year's
281,
386,
yeah, it's
so
not
you
that
could,
different.
you
for-
could just split it
years,
here.
36, so what? You take it.
You just take that 35 and put it to 27 instead of 28.
I'm trying to be reasonable, and there's nothing reasonable about it.
Some of the 281 is already allocated. You know, we had 80,000 from CPC for Forge Pond, AIM. So of the
Oh, well, that's 2026, yeah.
No, 7.
well, it was anticipated in 26. I mean, this version doesn't show what was anticipated, what was actually spent.
Right.
The 80,000 was actually not.
Well,
spent.
no, they're trying to keep a 5-year.
I understand, but I'm just saying that if you look at 27,
Right.
it's there too, right? So
Well, I would think that's not the same money.
it is,
It is, it's sitting there.
because it didn't get spent last year.
Well, no. It's anticipated that we'll spend most of it in 2026, no?
Okay, let's just pick a line item here. Forge Pond
Yeah, I
Eagle
know what you're
Harvester. In 2025, it says $35,000 budgeted, 16,500 spent. In 26, it says $80,000. Are you requesting $80,000 more?
Yes, we have $80,000.
So you already have
We
80,000.
have that. In hand.
Okay, do you have 80,000 plus the 18,500? What did you request?
Well, I'm sorry, what's the 18,500?
That's the difference between what we spent.
In 25, you didn't spend 18,500 of what you were allocated. So did you have 98?
No, it's coming from two different sources.
So the
The
18,500 is
18,500 is gone.
Yeah, that,
So that's what's not clear in your,
Well, I was just looking year to year. You can't,
so.
No, no.
But I think we need to know like what we have in hand. and
some
what
money
we're
rolls over and
requesting.
some money doesn't, right?
most money doesn't.
All
So
the
the-
CPC money rolls over.
It does, but that's the minority of the money.
So
That's good for 3 years.
the the other spreadsheet, the active one shows for that year.
We can't pack that much information on 2 pages here.
Well, I mean, there's
Well-
others like Mill Pond, it says 20,000 for the boat ramp improvement and 20,000 for the boat ramp improvement in 26.
It was never spent.
So there's no 20,000 in the budget for this year,
There is $20,000 standing fine.
but it's not, you're asking for $20,000.
We're not asking for one. We already have one.
So it's not a budget item. It's a rollover.
It is a rollover. Yeah, but we don't have that detail. We have the detail on the other, we're looking at 2 years, 2 fiscal years at a time. I know it's very difficult to understand.
I'm trying to figure out what you're asking for versus what you have, right? So, okay.
The anticipation is, and again, we go back to talking about, mitigation of invasive aquatics.
No, he's saying that, like, for instance, for 2026, to your point, the 80,000 that it shows for Forge Pond we already have that in hand. We're
Yeah,
not
you do.
requesting,
I
right?
understand that.
So,
Because you were gonna ask for more.
so for 26, we wouldn't be asking for more.
For
You already have 46.
We already have, we have 80,000 from CPC to use at some time. If we can use it, we would like to use it this summer,
We had anticipated using it
last summer. Right,
last summer,
right. So,
beginning of fiscal year 2026. We'll use it at the end of the fiscal year 2026.
right. I think Mark's point is, we've got 80,000 in 2026, we have 80,000 2027.
Well, that's what you said we want to do.
Let me finish, please.
This is where, no, we don't make these numbers up.
What his point is that the 80,000, you can't tell the difference here between
Okay,
the two.
is there a way we can do that?
And in the one case, we've already got it. In the other case, we'd be requesting it.
It's true, but I would have, no, here we are in fiscal year 2026.
Yeah.
We have those funds. We're not asking for those funds. In 27, we're asking for funds. In 28, 29, and 30, 31, we're asking for funds. We don't have those things. We need them.
We're all aware of that. He was just pointing out that you can't tell which ones are which, the way it's in the spreadsheet.
So,
He's just trying to understand.
I understand. I follow that as well as you do. But I don't know how to distinguish. We're in 2026.
We
We're
could,
not asking for
we could
2026.
make the things that are going to be requested in bold and the things we already have not bold.
So in 2027, I think everything would be bold.
I mean, the only thing that actually is already allocated is that 80,000 in 26, is that right? Oh, no, we have some,
No, we have monies for Long Lake.
mm-hmm,
No, that's why there's nothing there. We still have the $27,000. Well, we have $22,000 because there was $5,000 spent this, in 2025.
But we're not planning to do anything to Long Lake this coming year.
Not true. We're trying to do anything we can in Long Lake.
Okay,
If we have the ability, we'd like to have a few more of the floating islands removed. But I think.
okay, so we're at 22K remaining, that's what we'd be spending from last year's budget, that's the rollover stuff.
Yeah.
Right,
and
So-
17 for the floating islands.
Yeah,
that's correct.
and if we use the 80,000 in 2026, is that gonna deplete all of the CPC funds? That have been,
It would,
that would, okay,
for Forge Fund?
yeah, or for any pond, I guess,
Oh, it's not any.
well, whatever
The
we have, I
monies-
forget what we asked
The
for.
monies for
CPC.
spec pond are coming from the water department.
Yeah,
And that expires every single year, so every column you see is a brand new ask essentially.
was the 20,000 for the boat ramp for Mill Pond, was that CPC?
Yes,
Okay,
but now it's gonna get eaten up, with just engineering, I understand, so. I wanna see if we can have the engineering done this fall. Into the
right,
winter,
because we also have
So-
to do 20,000 for engineering, but then there's the improvement, okay,
right,
Right.
we'll have to ask for more for the actual work. And that's that 10,000. That would be a new ask.
Do we have permitting, is permitting assumed under the engineering task?
That would be part of the engineering expense, yeah. Yeah, they've gotta calculate runoff, I guess, and I think we're also talking about removing some trees, so they have to go through through Conscom. To make sure that that is allowed, and whatever provisions we have to do to replant or something, that will be explained, but.
It's all at the town.
All of that has to be diagrammed. I was thinking, since we have an existing path, we could say it's going that way now. Say runoff, everything else is just a long.
They want something to
It's
look at.
it's half the slope, how about that? You know, I don't know. Gonna take a tree or two, so. You know, I've incurred the wrath of Conscom. But, yeah, it's gotten to the point where we need, somebody with a legal stamp. To say, yeah, this isn't gonna be a harmful thing, it's gonna be a beneficial thing, and this is why, so. Which is why I guess we need the management plan.
I don't think it's gonna change anything. I mean, you
It'd be
could,
easier to walk.
you could put some BMPs in there and then it'd be like,
That's right, that's right.
then it would be beneficial.
That's it. Need a retention basin or something. But yeah, so anyway, this is looking, I mean, every single fiscal year is a new set of asks. Essentially, there are very few things that carry over. CPC money carries over for 3 years, but it is the exception to the rule. And, monies from other sources, from Westford, monies from wherever, those things that are not carrying over. In fact, they evaporated this year. So this is a big ask, and I, again, come back to the bottom line and say, all right, how much can we get every year? Do we wanna, we wanna spread things out a little bit, because things spread themselves out all by themselves, but, I just think we have to organize, because our next step is going to be formulating a request for these funds, appearing before the CPC, appearing before the water commissioners, and finding out how we can do to meet our goals.
So the, fiscal year 26 there's no more asks. That's all
That's
in place.
Yep.
Right. So, Mark, to your point, I think everything in 27 is being sought. There's, we don't have, at this point, we don't expect any carryover.
Maybe we just do a red line between 26 and 27. You cross the red line, you're asking for money.
The 20,000 shown for Mattawanakee in 27 for the engineering study of drawdown improvements. That was implied or,
Well, it was from the $15,000 that the water department.
so the water department said
more.
we couldn't spend that, last June. There was an indication that there would be money, after the, statement of work was, distributed and they got more quotes. There was an indication that there would be money, available to do it shortly after they got the results in. They decided not to do that, and they said, we should move that to FY 27. So the indication was that they would have funding for that in FY 27. So that 20,000 is expected to be allocated, but we don't know that for sure. Friends of Forge Pond match would match that.
So we wouldn't, is the line item that says that's what we'd be expecting, Friends of Fort Pond match, we wouldn't be asking for that from our town.
Right.
No.
Friends of Forge Pond would
So
be
the
providing
total
that.
could be reduced by 20K, because little.
You're absolutely right.
Okay, well, just to Mark's point about like how much we're
Right.
asking for this year. Then you could put the Long Lake Preservation Plan back in this year and it would come out, well,
No, it would. It'd be
See
even-
what I
it'd be
have.
even
it
with
would
that
be even
306.
and it would look more even in 20, yeah.
Right.
Cause that would be 295 then, approximately 296 for what we're asking for 27.
Right. 296. And this one over here would be 291 for 28. Level funding.
So in 27, you have 82.5 you're asking for the water department.
Mhm.
I assume that's $80,000 for Spec Pond and the $2,500 HydroView dashboard.
Right.
But they're not doing the plant survey.
Oh, sure. That comes out of the 80.
So okay,
So you should say it's 70.
so you have
Four.
72 for AIM or 74 for AIM and 6,000 for plant survey. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, the way
Well,
it's
plant
written
survey
is,
is just part of it, but what we ended up doing plant surveys this year and no
okay, so
no
the,
mitigation.
so the parenthesis just means
That's a,
FYI.
it's a minus, it's a negative. It comes out of the 80.
So that would mean that there's 70, if you add those together, that means we've got 74,000,
That is correct.
but we actually need 80.
You need 80?
Well, I mean,
you want,
you want 6,000 for the plant survey and 74 for the AIM.
what do you want? This is the way, I just converted it from what we had last month.
So the numbers in parentheses aren't real budget numbers.
They are real budget numbers.
No, they're not.
But it
because
comes,
they're part-
it comes out of the tally. All right, you could erase plant survey and it's still $80,000.
Right, I
Yeah,
mean, you had it, last
Right.
month you had it, you said AIM was 74 and plant survey was
And
6,000.
we got pushback because, why are you putting plant survey in there? All that, well, plant survey has to be done. It's part of, it's have to be kind of aware of that, so.
yeah, so we're just asking
It comes out of the tally. You
the,
wanna increase the tally?
So AIM, or we could say AIM includes plant survey.
It does. Well, if you go all the way back to the first,
I think it's just that-
25, where it
that we
says
have
aquatic
it,
invasive
yeah.
mitigation, and
It's-
floating islands and plant surveys and treatment recommendation. But rather than repeating that, boom, plant
right,
survey.
but
So-
the 6,000 parentheses is not to be added or subtracted, that's just,
No, it definitely is being
It's to
subtracted.
be subtracted.
It's coming out of the tally. It's coming out of the $80,000.
No, but just.
If $80,000 is not
The
sufficient.
total in the bottom line in blue.
It's all tallied. You had negatives, you had positives, everything else comes down and it gets added. It is the $80,000. The $80,000 is allocated. $74,000 for plant mitigation and $6,000 for plant
right, but
survey.
if you treat 6,000 as a minus, you've only got 74 there instead of 80.
That's correct. 74.
So your total ends up adding
Right.
74 instead of 80.
Right, your total should still be 80.
Oh. I can correct that.
Okay. Does that mean,
Do the spreadsheet.
It's all right.
I'm trying to do the best job I can.
So I think AIM should be.
So that means
yeah,
there's an
74,
extra-
and then
AIM,
plant
you just
survey,
keep-
6,000.
Okay,
8,000,
so
and then you
it's
have
like-
another breakout spreadsheet
Well,
where you've got AIM and it includes. Our
what?
plant survey. For
you know,
$6,000,
we don't have to have this on 2
$180,000.
pages. We could have a page for each year.
Yeah, we could.
Anyway,
Again, I think we're missing the point here. The point of a 5-year plan is to project. To say, all right, here are issues I'd like to see at my life. Here are issues that we should contend with. For example, the plans, master plan, if you will, for each lake. I think that's something that plugs right into a 5-year plan. You don't do it all in 2 years necessarily,
so that
but if
was,
you can, why not, right? I mean,
that wasn't the suggestion. The suggestion was just, we have the ability to put more columns in for each year to make it a little clearer as to what's
I
happening.
could explain.
Yeah. But, do these 3, parentheses 6,000 in 2027 mean that the total should not be 281, but 299?
You're right.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep, you're right.
Okay,
My apologies.
no, that's just good to be all on the same page.
Yeah, no, it's a learning curve for me. I'm sorry that. That was still what was said.
No, we're good.
Yeah, shoot me the
We will.
spreadsheet. I love seeing how all the different boxes that are.
We will be good.
Yeah, and I think what Mark's point is we need to look at how much are we requesting for the year, for this coming year,
For 87.
for 27, you know.
Oh, I'm sorry, 27.
Right, so the lines in yellow will also,
Yeah, so,
Oh, yeah, everything's gonna shift and I'm sorry.
so from the water department, for 27, it's not 82.5, it's, 88.5. Oh, no,
I'll make all the adjustments. It's, we can't, I don't know, can't. You
I don't know why,
we
oh,
can do
yeah,
math right
we
now.
have to do it all fly.
94.5. Right?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it'll all add up to about $100,000.
We don't have to put it in now, I can send it to you later, but just as a point of information, for 26, Westford, provided 9,200 for plant surveys. And it's for this past summer, so for July and September, 25, they provide 9,200 for plant surveys. Which is different than the 6,000 shown here, which would be next June for plant surveys. But they did. So that's 9,200 that came in from Westford. Out to Lakes and Ponds.
So are you saying they're applying that to last year's work or the work that you just did
I'm just saying that
previous to?
in last July and this past September, Westford paid for two plant surveys and water quality tests, which combined cost 9,200. And that would officially go in the FY 26.
Spring, I'll add that.
Plant survey and water quality.
Okay, I gotta go back and recalibrate.
This is why we review things.
Yeah,
The 281 number is off, it's really like 271. Do you actually add
No,
the numbers?
it's 299, isn't it?
Well, if you
it's
add.
gonna be
up
plus
the-
1,800,
If you
18,000.
add up the, but it's not. If you add up all the numbers that aren't in parentheses, it doesn't add up to 280.
No, it's for the water commissioners, it's the $1,200. No, it's not, it's just the $600, $6,000.
Yeah, it's the water department
Because-
is 94.5, right?
Forge Pond and Long Lake and are outside of the water department, their town and alternate resources.
He's talking about the blue number.
I don't know, yeah, either I'm.
Right, that has to be adjusted by 18.
He's saying that it comes out different than that.
I think so, but I could be off. Well, I'm still struggling with we have the match in there, so that's not a real number that we're requesting, right?
That's not requested, right? The Friends of Forge.
We'll have access to it, but it's not budget that we're requesting, yeah.
Right.
So how do we show that on here? Maybe,
Well, that's the problem. That's gonna show up on the active budget, but not on the 5-year plan, because it doesn't matter.
Unless, well.
It doesn't matter on the 5-year plan, because it's not something we're asking for. It was something that was given
Right,
from another source,
yeah,
and it just,
So,
yeah, but we don't have an active budget for 27, do we?
we have that on the backside of,
this-
this page. Yeah.
Oh,
Well, again, you don't wanna get into the minutia on a 5-year plan.
would it make, so for 27 at Forge Pond, would it make sense to note that the engineering study is actually $40,000, but then have the Friends of Forge Pond match be in parentheses, so that the total being requested at the bottom rolls up to 20,000?
Debatable, I guess.
I mean, I'm just thinking about how we can,
yeah,
there was a question of how we know what
you could,
we're requesting from Littleton versus what we're
yeah.
getting in match.
I don't see that active, for 27.
We don't have one. yet.
We don't have, it's expanded, but it's on the backside of
What?
FY 25. There's,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's the second page. The way it was printed out,
That's 26.
26, right, we don't have 27,
That's what I said, we don't have 27.
we don't even have
It's
26,
not active yet.
we haven't gotten it. There's no active budget for 27 because we haven't requested any money yet.
That's what we're talking about. What are we gonna request for this year?
True. But it's not it's part of the 5-year plan.
Right now, we already have the funding for FY 26, right?
True,
So we're talking about,
we're talking about
in the
the
next
next 5
few
years.
weeks, we need to be requesting funding for FY 27.
Yes,
So the thought was we should be having an active sheet for 27.
So you can track the source,
So
is that, it
So we
feels like
can,
that's,
and then we could break down these things about, you know,
Right.
what's already got there, what do we already have, what do we need to
That'll be the
request?
next step, but it really
Yeah.
isn't something we need tonight. And it wasn't anything we needed a month ago.
Well, when do we need to, come to,
When do we need to have?
with our request?
Probably next month.
November, December,
Well, next month is November, not
Yes, it
December.
is. no, but,
The budget season really starts next month. So somewhere between November and December timeframe.
So like early, late November?
They sent out so what they've told staff is that all the budgets will be level funded. Basically, for, you know, you're not getting headcounts and things like that. So they're preparing budgets along those lines, not, you know, not to
Okay.
ask for
Right,
new staff and things like that.
oh, okay,
Unless, if you need new staff.
unless you have a,
Big
you
justification.
have to make the case for it,
Yes.
right,
So
okay,
so the budget narratives of the staff is supposed to be preparing the budget narratives. I don't know when they're due back. I can find out for sure, right? If they're in November or December, but
so we, last time we said that the idea is that we would, bring our kind of full complement of requests to the select board and then work through that. So,
I think November is a good time frame.
that's a long, so like middle of November.
Like if your November meeting is more or less finalized, I think I can work with that.
Okay. So we would need to be queued up to say, yes,
we got a lot to break out.
So, John, what you have on this 5-year budget for 26 doesn't match what you have on the active budget for 26.
Also,
So the numbers here will add up to 233 on the one side, and they say 323 on this one. So am I missing something?
$100,000.
You said you have more than $100,000. I'm not sure where
We're clearly missing $100,000.
is it, I don't know what it is.
I'm sorry.
These two numbers here that you say for 2026 add up to 233, 138. But the number on this page shows that your total budget is 323, 1. Am I misreading something?
That's what was budgeted,
But
not what
this,
was spent.
right, but you haven't spent 26 yet. This is what you have said in
Right.
26 was
Right.
budgeted. So the two are off by $100,000, what you say is budgeted. Or am I misreading something?
No, it's following.
Well, sure, it jives, but
Thank you.
232.
well, you have like eco
Mhm.
harvesting for Long Lake at 17,000 on the active one, but there's no
okay,
values, like that's it.
again, the parentheses, the 33,362 will throw things off, the $6,000 will throw things off. So I need to go back. and
The
look.
$5,000.
Still not 100,000.
Right, aim for spec pond is at 100K on this.
That
sheet.
might be the
Yeah,
difference
so
there.
The parentheses are the difference, 33,000, 6,000, there's your difference.
And probably some of it's the carryover, floating island removal, 20.
Well, Long Lake, there's nothing there. It's on the 2026, for the 5-year plan. All that money is there, but it's been added here. $17,000, $5,000, or $17,000 again for Muck Island removal, $5,000. It doesn't show up as a request, as an ask on the 5-year plan. Because we already have the money from the CPC.
So your budget isn't really it's what you have plus what you already have.
Yes,
It's not.
and I think that's where the confusion comes in. Plus my mistake with the negative numbers.
So for Long Lake on the, active plan, you have 44,000 shown, we have 44,000 shown, I'm not putting it on you.
No,
We have 44,000 shown, and on the 5-year plan, we don't have anything shown.
Right, because we already have it.
But you also have a CPC carryover column, so. I don't know, I see, I don't know.
Okay, so there's 44 so there's 44 that shows up in the total on the active that, isn't part of the 5-year plans total. And we have, 45,000 in parentheses in the 5-year plan, which Excel subtracts.
Mhm.
So that's 90,000 right there.
Yeah, no, there's things in the
Well,
tally.
that's the difference. That's the 90,000.
What is?
On the 5-year plan, we've got, 5,000, 33,000, and 6,000 that are in parentheses, which Excel will subtract, which comes to, 44,000, 45,000, right? And, on the, and we have, and on the active sheet, we have, for Long Lake, $44,000, shown, which aren't shown on the 5-year plan because those are already in hand and we're not requesting them. So that 44 and the other 45 gives us basically 90,000, which is the difference between the two.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's a
the,
combination of the values in parentheses on 26 and then the carryover items that are covered under.
so
CPC.
So the real number, I guess, is 323 minus the, in terms of what we're requesting, minus the 44 that's shown for Long Lake, right? So that's 280. Plus the 4,000 that's in parentheses on the active one, which is 284. So 284, I guess, is what we'd be requesting.
On the
But
active
the
sheet,
point is
what
we
is
already
that?
have 26. We're not requesting anything.
Oh,
more
yeah,
for
yeah,
26.
oh, yeah,
So I think it's
Yeah,
just a
yeah,
matter of
yeah,
how
yeah.
things
yeah,
sum up and then.
yeah, right. So anyway, that's the difference.
How are we spending on the active? It says Long Lake Stabilization Fund, 5,000, like what is, I thought that was money inbound to us,
It is.
but it's on our budget, like we're spending it.
No, well,
No,
We
it's
need it.
money that we,
It's part of the budget.
For,
Right.
We're doing what? What are we doing with it?
Yeah, it hasn't been, yeah, we don't even know if it's $5,000.
Cause it seems like we'd be applying that Long Lake Stabilization money to one of
Some.
these items,
I see what you're saying.
right?
Mhm.
That's inbound money, not expenses.
You're right.
Okay. We found another $5,000. Yay.
I thought I was closer than ever, but.
It's hard, it's always fun trying to think of someone else.
going back and forth between spreadsheets and I don't know.
It's dreadful. And especially when there's monies that carry over and then.
so let's just focus on 27 for right now.
Sure.
Okay? So common, we have 6,000 for water quality testing and 25 for the dashboard.
Mhm.
Is 6,000 enough testing?
We increased it from the 5,000 we had, in 2025 and,
But this year we only got two.
Right, we
2
didn't have a
months of
budget to
testing.
do any more than we've done.
In 2025, you spent $2,100.
What,
Oh, yeah. But we probably didn't do as much testing as we would have liked.
Right, but I guess the thinking is, okay, addition, we could go 3 times as far as.
Yeah.
Hope did, so
Right,
that's 6,000.
so is that coming from the water department?
yes,
okay, so that's $1,000 a time.
yeah.
So 6,000 would give us
Okay.
5,
Well, 5 months, yeah.
which is
A lot better than 2.
right. May, June, July, August, September. That would be good, okay, so that's the common. The Spectral Pond, we have 86 for
80,000.
86?
86.
80,
Oh, I'm sorry, it's 80,000.
it's 80,000.
Oh, 80,000, okay.
And that will come from Littleton Water.
Right.
And then
Forge Pond,
Forge Pond,
86, I mean 80.
80.
80. Which is assuming that we can do the eco harvesting this next summer. That 80 would be requested for some kind of mitigation. If we do the eco harvesting this summer and we find that it's not effective, then that money would presumably go toward herbicides.
All I wanna know is a couple things here. We're talking about money, but, I mean, I know we need to talk about money, but are we ready? Are we ready to hit the ground next year? Do we have the permits?
Yeah.
We're working on them.
We have to,
Money to work on.
If we have the permit, but if it comes to pass, yeah.
I mean, we're talking about money and if we don't even have a permit, this is stupid.
so.
It's not stupid.
The only permit we don't have is the dredging permit. And we have,
If we don't have
TRC,
the dredging permit.
we have TRC hired to do the dredging permit for us.
Okay,
It looks like they are woefully behind what they said their schedule was. They said they would have that done by the end of the summer.
Okay.
And at this point, it doesn't look like they even have the sampling done yet. And if they haven't got the sampling done yet, it's possible that the state won't let them do it now. They wouldn't be able to do it until next.
There's a lot of
spring.
variables here.
Well,
You know, this is a lot, this is a minor
It'll
dredging
make the
permit.
window and it'll be too late for us to do, like, we won't get the permit until
They
August.
anticipated that it might take,
I
Like last year.
thought you meant from a sampling standpoint.
no,
They have to share-
they're afraid it might take 10 months to process it.
Yes, but like, I mean,
So last year, we said in September that we wanted to do the sampling then so that we could start the whole process and be ready by last spring.
right,
And we were told by DEP, you can't do your sampling now, you have to wait until the spring when things are all in fruit. And so we've been asking for the last 2 months.
seasonally anyway, so.
Well, there seems to be some arbitrariness in terms of how these decisions get made. We don't, let me say this, we don't have a lot of visibility into them. And so they seem arbitrary.
For the purposes of dredging, right? We're not sampling the plants, we're sampling the sediment.
No, we're sampling both. They want both.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Because they say they want the plants because if there are VOCs in the sediment, they might end up in the plants. And most of what we're taking is, I mean,
But if,
99.99% of what we're taking is plants. So they want to see, are there, volatile, are there bad?
my point is just like the sediment sampling doesn't need to be seasonal.
No,
But it seems that we can't submit our application without both samples.
So from a budget standpoint, if eco harvesting comes through, we have $80,000 to eco harvest. If not, we
Well, we
have,
would be requesting
we would request $80,000 for eco harvesting up to,
No.
and we could redeploy that to herbicide. If,
So
right?
we expect that we would be doing some kind of mitigation in fiscal year 27.
Yeah,
And
what the $80,000.
which is the 80,000, right? If we are able to do eco harvesting next summer and it shows to be productive, effective, that 80,000 may be for eco harvesting.
Yep.
If we do it and it's not productive, then the 80,000 would be for herbicides.
Or the permitting isn't ready.
Yeah.
Then it's.
Or,
Yeah.
and, yeah,
Right, I think that's what I was saying. I think we're aligned.
Plan A, plan B.
Yeah, okay, so then for.
and we'd be looking at doing a lake preservation plan as soon as we can, which would be 27.
And sorry, back up. So the engineering study drawdown, Littleton would need to pay $20,000. Friends of Forge Pond pays $20,000, so it's a $40,000 project, to be clear.
Right.
Okay.
Right, but we'd only be requesting 20.
We'd only be requesting 20, okay,
And that would be, we'd be requesting it from the water department because we had funding for that for FY 25. And it didn't work out to use it. And the indication was that it would be provided in FY 27. So presumably it will.
so that would be on the Littleton, so that would be another 20 to add to the Littleton Water Department request.
That 20,000 we would hope would be coming from water department.
Okay, so that will increase the ask from them.
Yeah,
And then is the aim for Forge Pond, would that come from CPC?
we haven't, so
We don't know where that's gonna come from.
we're looking at this and then the idea is we would
Don't worry about where that's coming
work
from.
with, we'd work with,
That's, well, I'm just like, what do we
Yeah.
think? It might be helpful to know where the gaps are, so you could focus on that.
I take this number to Nick and I say, what will you fund?
Then there's the lake preservation plan for Forest Pond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then there's Littleton, Long Lake,
Lake.
sorry, 40 grand for Long Lake.
Yep.
And then whether or not, we didn't agree if we're gonna move the Long Lake preservation plan to 27?
Well, if Long Lake is being stabilized, if it's, Long Lake is stabilized, and all we're doing is trying to get Muck Islands out, a few other
It's
things.
not, I mean, we have invasives, but it's not as aggressive as what you guys.
No, but I'm just saying, then we wait till 2028 or 2027 to get
I mean, it-
2028 for the plan,
I think in terms of the overall budget, it's to our benefit to
to
stagger
even it
as
off.
much as we can.
Yeah, I agree. I just think
I
maybe,
that there was some argument made about, we've got this new fund now that's Long Lake parents are paying into for, is it parking permits and all that kind of stuff?
It
There's a
is,
surcharge.
eventually it'll be,
oh, and they're taking a piece of it.
Yeah, so it would
Yeah.
be like, hey, let's show Parks and Rec that we're actually doing something with this sooner. That was the argument for moving it up.
Okay.
Um,
But what I think
Well,
we,
that's
Well,
half
also
of
to
it.
inform
yeah,
them.
The other half is that it's useful to know what we
yes,
get guidance on what we need to do.
right,
Um,
all right. Then Mill Pond boat construction, 10 grand. That seems like that could be a CPC project once we get there, right?
I think it's only
Yeah.
10 grand.
that's a capital improvement.
And then $8,500 for Doleful Pond. It's so doleful, it only gets 8,500.
Well, so question on that one for Doleful, is the plant survey separate?
It is,
Okay, cause that's different than the other lakes.
right?
Just wanted to
It's,
confirm.
everything is different.
so in
Working
26,
towards consistency, but, yeah,
in 26, it says there's 1,600 remaining for
Yeah.
Dolphin Pond.
yeah,
Is that CPC?
it's CPC money, but it's not adequate based on, the latest Solitude, quote that we got, so,
They hadn't been to look at it.
no. They just looked at the
now,
photographs we had.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So-
So if we don't have
but
any
can that
budget in
1,600 from 26 apply to 27?
usually no.
no, well,
Or does it expire?
we got it in 25. We requested it in 24, got it in 25, so it's good for 3 years. I think we can do that,
Yeah, so that would be,
So,
good.
so,
right? That makes sense, right?
yeah,
yeah, so if we can't do it in 26, because we don't have the balance.
Right, we have no additional funding there.
so that would reduce
And
the,
it's, Dolphin Pond never gets any respect.
Well, you're asking for 5 times the budget that you had in 27 and 26. You're going from 1,600 to 8,500. It's a huge increase.
we didn't do anything in Dolphin 25, did we?
Well, you asked for money in 25, you didn't do anything, you're gonna
Right.
spend the money in 26.
Right,
But then you're asking for 8,500 and you spent 1,600 over 2 years, so,
No, we haven't spent that money.
We-
That's,
well,
yeah,
theoretically, over 2 years, you're spending 1,600. And now in 1 year, you want 8,500, that's a huge increase.
so, Dolphin Pond has been ignored, nothing's been done, and what this is saying, I think, is we need to look at it and see what's needed, and
But this isn't looking at it saying what's needed, this is doing something. Right?
yeah, but
That's not the,
so this is, I think, an estimate as to what's needed.
She has done stuff there in the past, right?
Long time ago.
Long-
I guess
It's been several years since I've
this
been,
time they did something, and if we average that. 80.
Well, we got a quote from them this spring to look at it, and that's the number they gave us.
85,
Yeah,
okay,
When's the last time a person even looked at this?
oh, I'm sorry, it's not, they didn't give us the
Has
85.
anybody out there that looked at this pond?
Doleful?
That's
Yeah.
awful.
Oh,
Yeah, it's new.
When have we gone by there and looked at it?
I was there a year and a half ago.
I went by there this past spring.
Okay, just asking.
It's not much to look at, and it doesn't draw much attention, but
We fill it in?
Lens been
Yeah.
on these
it is
days.
our responsibility.
I mean,
And
the point is,
the biggest problem there is they have water chestnut.
Yeah.
And if that spreads to other lakes, it's really hard to eradicate. And so that's been the come around with Dolphin Pond. It's always about the water chestnut. It has to be physically removed. Unfortunately, what has happened in the past is, you get, this little seed pod drops down at the bottom of the pond, embeds itself in the mud, and it's viable for 7 or 8 years. So it's difficult to eradicate.
It's interesting to look at it on Google Maps. It's hard to tell what is the pond.
Oh, it's true. It's
just
kind
a
of.
wet-
it's got a lot of leaves around it. No, well, the last time I was there, it was open.
There's
There's
some open water.
Yeah,
yeah, but it's a
Yeah.
lot of, yeah.
But it's a
a lot of
growth,
plants.
a lot of
It's-
growth.
It looks kind of like Mill Pond.
Yeah.
You know, you drive by Mill Pond and
Depending on.
Do
the time of
we
year.
know, was that a natural or was it a farm pond? I wonder if it was dug originally.
What?
I doubt it. Looks
That's an
like,
irrigation.
It's always interesting to me that it's a higher elevation than the Newtown Road.
Mhm.
It's uphill. You go like that. What's this
Yeah.
water doing?
It's a good road here.
Yeah. Anyway, okay.
Okay, so I gotta clean up my mistakes here, and we'll have to continue this by that email or something, and maybe we can get together fairly early on next month. Make sure we've got this all ironed out, and see what we need to do. We'll expand things for 2027 with its own active page, and
yeah. I did see an article about Lake George this last week where they've been using Priscillacor there to fight milfoil. And they said two things about it. One was that it dissipates, it goes away in a day or two, right? But they found that the things that break down are actually are still in the sediment, but they aren't. There's no indication that there's a problem with that. It's just, and the active ingredient is gone, but the breakdown elements they found in sediment. But the thing that was most interesting to me was that after using it for a couple of years, they have found that their milfoil had retreated and they've got native plants coming back.
Is that the one that the DCR recommends? It's more
That's
expensive?
the wicked expensive one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's comparable cost to eco harvesting, but if it works and you can get rid of it, then you wouldn't. Again, we have to see how each of them work.
Yeah.
And, the lake preservation plan, the guidance there could give us some guidance. So one thing we also talked about last time that we kind of, when we were talking about how things are structured and that kind of thing, I think we would benefit from having some ongoing professional attention for committee.
Okay.
Right, well, we don't have anybody that's really attached to Clean Lakes Committee that has professional experience with lake ecosystems. We individually talk to, people that do that work. And they, are willing to advise us periodically, but not on a regular basis. We used to have liaisons that were, the ecologists for the water department, but they're not actively involved with us now. So that's something to keep in mind, that having somebody attached to Clean Lakes Committee that works with us regularly or watches what we're doing and could give us ongoing advice that
Well,
has.
we had Tim earlier in the year.
So I think the goal is to invert that. Right, that staff is doing this regularly and you're giving them advice, rather than. That's where we're heading for.
So, yeah, so if the staff that's working on it has that experience, then that's good.
So
Right.
that's where we're heading towards. We're not there yet, but we,
Yeah.
in the
Okay.
next couple months, I hope we're much closer than we are now.
That's great.
So so we need to kind of clean this up, before the next meeting. Do you
We
have,
should have this all worked out by then.
yeah,
There might be a couple of points we.
yeah, the kind of things we talked about, right?
But I think it's very clear, and I see where I made my mistakes, so
So
I
I'm just,
apologize for that. but-
no, that's good, that's good. I'm just wondering whether Mark has any other kind of if it ended up like we sort of have been talking about, do you see issues that we should be addressing before we hand it off? I mean, I suppose that the size of it is a problem, is an issue.
So
right?
I would say that, given the fact that the budget is likely to be fairly flat this year, right?
Mm.
And you have things that you're increasing substantially, right? Where, if the things are cut, where do you want them cut? Right?
Mhm, sure.
I mean, like, just to pick on Long Lake, right, over 2 years, you spent $25,000 a year, and now you're asking for 40,000, so you're asking.
46.
Yeah.
40.
Well,
Well, 40 to 46, I'm not sure. And I understand you had permitting and other issues, right, but. And if,
Yeah, well, we're looking at.
I'm picking on
Terrible
one.
year, no, it's
I
just,
mean, yeah.
you're looking at numbers that don't make any
Right,
sense,
so-
because this year didn't make any.
Right, so you might have to go and throw the 2024 budget in here to say what was allocated and spent. And say 25 was a snafu, right? And
Yeah,
we should
that's
throw that
what,
out,
but
so.
yeah.
Because if you're looking at these numbers, like, I mean, we.
that's your field of reference, and
You pick on Spec Pond, you're asking for 100, you spent 40, so you're asking, you're asking for 100 again, and okay, if you only spend 40, why do we keep asking for 100? Right,
Do they look, when they say flat, like, is it looking at what you budgeted or what you actually spent?
they're actually looking more at the budget than the spend.
So if we asked for 100 grand, but we only spent 41 and we're asking for 100
They're
grand
not
this
gonna-
year.
They're not necessarily going to question that as
Okay.
much.
no, I definitely understand your context.
But the craziness
Field of
was,
reference you have.
the craziness was, Mark, is if everything went fine, the 100,000 would have might have been spent, okay? But it didn't go fine.
Yeah.
So we only spent the 38.
Right.
Now, we're still juggling. Is everything gonna go fine next year? Who the hell knows?
Right.
Probably
Okay,
not.
who the hell knows? We might only spend 5,000 at Spec Pond.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's still gonna go in the kitty, but if we don't keep asking for those numbers.
Right. Yeah.
We're screwed.
Right, I understand that, yeah. But like, I'll just pick on Long Lake again.
Mhm.
If you look in 26, you didn't ask for anything. According to the sheet. So you
Again,
went
this is
from,
the carryover situation, because.
I know,
It's all
but
PPC.
it makes it hard for the budget process. That's all I understand what you're saying, and
Well,
I'm
sure.
not disagreeing with what you're saying.
So-
It's just hard when your budget goes like this to plan, so.
So it seemed like we should provide you with 24, 25, 26, 27.
24 would help. to-
And so here's what we budgeted, here's what we wanted to do, here's what we could actually do. And here's what we wanted to do again, and if that makes use of a carryover, we should show that here's what we wanted to do this year, and it included this funding which was carried over, which shows here's what we wanted to do, and it would have cost this much. So for each of the years.
Yeah, and another way, like, is if I come back and tell you, you have 200,000 or 250,000, where are you gonna spend it?
Right.
Right? What are you cutting if we can't get 280? Which is what you're asking for,
Right.
right? So
In 27.
in 27,
Yeah, but I mean. Boat ramp construction, we shouldn't even have in there, but we should put it somewhere else, because boat ramp construction is gonna be CPC.
it
It's
doesn't
not even
matter.
gonna deal,
I'm not saying, it doesn't matter where it's coming from.
no, but it's not even gonna be with what we're asking the tap.
You're asking for most of it's from the town, it's just which budgeted the town is coming from.
I
And at a
guess,
certain point, CPC they probably won't have a problem with the boat ramp construction, it's probably something else. But all the other stuff, at some point, CPC is gonna have a problem with maintenance, right? The problem they're gonna have with Mill Pond.
Oh, if you look at this-
Mill Pond,
Forge Pond match is 20,000, if you took that, throw it aside, if you took the 6,000 up above, throw it aside, that's 26,000.
Yeah.
You take the plan survey, you throw that aside, now we're way down below 281.
right, so,
I think just, this needs to be cleaned up where this is how much money we need, period.
Right, and Mark is saying that the likelihood is that the budget's gonna be so tight that they're gonna still ask us to cut, so we have to be prepared to.
right. if I
So
come
maybe in
if I come to
November
you,
when
I
we-
want 100K for your money, but if you can only get 250, then what are you gonna drop?
Yeah,
What's the 30 you're gonna drop?
so maybe in November,
It'll be a
next
percentage
week,
of like,
and this is cleaned up, we should prioritize, and we should say, like, if we had to, if we have to be thinking that way, we can have some contingency plans, you know, like. Well, we won't do this year, or we won't do,
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
I think it'd be useful if a couple of us went through the things that we talked about, updating here and adding in the things 24, 25, 26, 27. And then, would you be open to us coming over, Mark, and saying, look, here's what we've got?
Yeah, I will
And-
sit down with you guys, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that'd be useful. So, is it also useful to provide you with the cleaned up 5-year plan so that people can see?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, we got a little more homework to do.
Yeah.
But, this is, I say this is very productive.
set a date for next month.
Yeah, we should take a look at that.
We got Thanksgiving in there,
That
Yeah, we'll
comes,
be
that
well
comes up
before now, I
very
think.
quick.
I'm just saying.
well, and if we wanna meet in early November because of the budget cycle.
You
Yeah,
wanna go more the 5th or the 12th? What do we, don't even wanna be on a Wednesday, or is Wednesday good?
This is good.
This is good, I will not be around the 12th, I could do the 5th. It seems like we should do that week.
The 5th works for me.
the 5th is good.
Yeah, okay.
Let's shoot for that. Always push it out, can't always bring it forward. Then that'll have us set for the rest of the month. We could make any further adjustments we need to. Work all this out.
And I will take this to water and conservation as our first start.
Between now and then, or once we,
I can do it between now and then
oh,
as a high level.
as a, okay, as a rough.
And they can provide feedback.
Tell them how we did this budget magic by putting things in parentheses,
Yeah.
which somehow made it.
I had the right intention.
You just didn't know what Excel does under the hood.
Was it the road to hell is paved with good intentions? Okay, I'm getting schooled here, so, I think that'll
All good.
have us for the night.
All right, motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
That's what we've been waiting for all night, Chuck. Thank you. And thank you
All in favor?
Aye.